Hello, it is currently Sunday, March 2nd at 1:11 in the morning. Well, somewhere in between 1:10 and 1:12 allegedly. Let's see what this says. Yeah, almost 1:11 here. Man, first couple weeks been crazy, but I just wanted to check in because I am going to just post this raw ass combo of footage. And I feel bad because I never really edited anything into Kai's footage, but she talks so great. You could like visualize half of the stuff that she's saying, but I just wanted to post this because it's like, if I take too long, then it's like, is my promotion even valid at this point? Because time's a ticking, baby, and it's already March. So welcome to March 2025. I am very excited that I have made progress, but man, I'm exhausted, especially after a very long couple of shifts. So I hope to be back with a little bit more consistent content coming up soon, but your girl has been in the trenches. So I wish you all well. I hope you are having a fantastic March so far, and love you. I'll tell you what, there's just not enough time, and look at this little brave baby. Anywho, should I turn it off? Can I turn it off from here? Anyways, sitting here really quickly. Today is Wednesday, December 11th, and yesterday we found out that Planta Queen Buckhead has been put up for sale. We did not find out from Planta, so as of right now, I still have not heard anything from upper management. One of the outlets that I found out through was ATL Scoop, which if you don't know, ATL Scoop is kind of similar to like Music Shitty or TN Holler or like Only in Dade or like Only in Broad, like kind of like a drag mag of social media. Now, while I do not disagree with that choice because it is not a profitable restaurant, there's just not enough tweaks to the brand that would make it work in that location. And to be honest, I've been there for about 6 months, and while I've had good conversations with upper management about getting controllables in line, they've really never talked to me about like what the vision of that restaurant should work like, because, or like what would work in there. And realistically, it should be like a QSR. It should be something similar to Kava. Which again, if Planta was QSR, I think they would do like much better, like go more like bar tacos / Nando's, QR codes, order through that, if someone brings it to your table, but very like low lift. I would cut their cocktail list in half. I mean, there's just a lot of things. So now I did have a good conversation with our VP of operations recently, and she was asking me if I've like really been interested in like staying in ops and whatever. So I don't know if that was her testing the waters to see if I'd want to do something else. As much as I thought I'd be able to kind of coast with this position for a little bit longer than it's looking like. Now, granted, a restaurant sale can take like 6 months easily, but they did list it for kind of a low amount. That was the update I received yesterday, but more to come on that. Okay. Welcome back, everybody. I haven't updated you in a while, and there's just been so much that's happened since the new year. It was so funny, right? It was like I had such big plans to like, you know, do the traditional thing where you like have a nice break and like a reset, and man, like life just hit straight up again from the get. So I don't know if I talked about it already, but I had been reached out to by our vice president of operations, and she asked if I would like help with some of the training materials, like creating that stuff. So it's been a really exciting time for me because it's like I'm already kind of moving up in a way in the company that I'm working for. But this really happened because our director was leaving, and I was wondering what they were going to do about posting their job, but the job went up this week, and then my director of operations was like, are you going to apply for it? And so I like went ahead and did it because I just kind of thought that was like a good sign that somebody was like, you know, in case you want to apply. So I did, and I have an interview for that tomorrow, so I'm very excited. Today I was like doing all kinds of bizarre stuff for the like workplace, like jumped on like a call for events, which like is always interesting. Like I feel like I always end up giving them more information than I receive, but that's fine. It's my day off, I guess, is why I'm like probably sounding a little sassy about that. And then my other one was that I attended a hearing for the alcohol application to get our license, like for me to be the agent of the Buckhead location. So we voted yes. I was charming, I guess. So that was great. It was actually interesting to see like who's on these kind of like councils and stuff, but still in the bit of like a who knows what's gonna happen. But it'd be really cool if I was the director of learning and development. I think that it's a title that I think I have coveted, if I can be honest about that. But I just never wanted it just for the title. I wanted to be able to like actually make an impact, and I think I could do that. So wish me luck, or maybe you'll see this after I get the job. I don't know. Tomorrow is the interview, and I don't know. I have to review this content to see what life's about, but I don't know. I also don't necessarily want to leave on a cliffhanger and come back like a sad girl. I don't know. We'll see.
Now it's time to head to the movies with our cinematic crusader. Here with another titanium take, here's our movie maven, Kai.
Well, hey there, everybody. It is I, your movie maven, Kai. Rusty and I have been doing a lot of talking about stuff that we wanted to do this year on the vlog. And one of them, you know, because we talk about self-care so much, because we talk about the things that we do to bring comfort to ourselves, is that we watch a lot of comfort shows, you know, shows that we've seen a million times because they're familiar, you know, they bring us happiness. We recognize certain episodes and we go, oh, this is my favorite. And oh, that's my favorite. So we wanted to incorporate, you know, those shows that you end up binge watching when you want some comfort. And so I thought the best way to start this off is with my all-time favorite show. And it was hard. It was between two. But I went with Twilight Zone. Twilight Zone has been my favorite show since I was about 4 years old. I was the weird kid. I'm still the weird kid. And I grasped onto it because it's, first of all, an absolutely beautiful show. It's wonderfully shot. There's familiar faces all over the place. You know, you have everybody from, you know, Robert Redford to Ed Wynn to William Shatner. He's in several of my, you know, my top episodes. But it's one of those that even back when it aired, and it aired from 1959 to 1964, there was 156 episodes. You know, even back then, they tackled some really interesting social commentary that's still relevant today. The show's created by Rod Serling, who acted as the narrator. He also wrote and directed several of the episodes. And you had an opportunity to really kind of see a snapshot of the time in a lot of them. But like I said, like the stories, the morals, you know, the concerns, they transcend. You know, you watch it now and it's just as relevant as it was back in the 60s, which I don't know what that says about our society, but here we are. So I wanted to share with you my three favorite episodes. In number 3 spot is one called Number 12 Looks Just Like You. And it's basically about this young girl who's, you know, about to go through the change. And the change is essentially a surgical procedure that changes everybody into one of 20 templates. So you have 20 for females and 20 for males. And, you know, you get to a certain age and they go, okay, now's the time for you to go through this. And you get to pick what you're going to look like. Everybody looks the same. They have little nameplates on their chest so that you know who is who. And, you know, it's supposed to make you happy. It's supposed to make you, you know, beautiful, and you live longer, and it's so great. And everybody who's had it done is sort of brainwashed. You know, they don't really remember what it was like before this procedure, because it's been happening for so long. But there's one girl who her father talked to her about, literature and history and all of these things that kind of had been out of fashion for a long time. And she really held on to that. She's like, oh, I know I'm plain looking, I know I'm not pretty, but I'm not ugly. I don't see a reason for me to have to do this. And her mother worries about her and she said, oh, just go have a glass of liquid smile. It's the same stuff that we're talking about today. Plastic surgery to make yourself happy. Liquid smile, the pharmaceuticals and even recreational and illicit drugs that people use to feel better, in the moment. And she goes to a psychiatrist and the psychiatrist says, oh no, this is going to be the best for you. Don't you think that you're probably just, in an echo chamber of, your father's words? And they basically tell her, like, if you go see the psych, then you don't have to go through the procedure if you still don't want to, and they force her to anyway. And she ends up picking, the template that's just like her best friend, and everybody's all smiles at the end because, of course, that's what's going to make you happy. So really cool commentary on that one, and like I said, stuff that is still just so relevant today. Number 2 is a classic that has been parodied and remade, a million times, and it's called To Serve Man. If I had the ability to go back and watch this without knowing the ending, I would do it a million times. It's so amazing. I mean, The Simpsons have made fun of it. I mean, that's really how you know you've made it. But To Serve Man is, a bunch of scientists are contacted by aliens. And the aliens come down and they say, we're going to bring you to a utopian society. We're going to take you away from this planet that's dying, and you're going to come to our planet, and we're going to take care of you, and it's wonderful, and everyone's happy, and we're going to, give you the best medicine, the best food, the best experience that you could possibly have. No one has to work. No one has to do anything. And people start signing up left and right. And they leave behind a book that has, a language that can't be read by humans. So the scientists start trying to decrypt it. They're like, let's see what this really is. And, they're working through it, and they just can't crack it. And, months and years go by, and, ship after ship after ship of person has gone up and into space and off to this utopian society. And, one of the scientists is, on the next plane or on the next ship, and he's ready to go, and he's getting on the ship, and one of the other scientists runs out and she goes, wait, you can't go. To Serve Man, it's a cookbook. Amazing. It's such a shock and such a, oh my God, you have no idea. And it was so incredibly well written, well acted. Like, it's so good. The makeup on this show also is phenomenal. And I'm hugely critical on, appliances and things. I worked for Universal for many years and did, Horror Nights and, Grinchmas and everything else. And so, I learned so much about prosthetic makeup. And to think that, the stuff that they were doing for the show back then was as fantastic as, they're doing now. They really, just hit the spot with makeup on that as well. So To Serve Man is number 2. Number 1 is, those are 2 kind of classic episodes. Number 1 is called Nick of Time. And it's one of William Shatner's episodes. He actually did a few during the course of the 156 episodes. But basically it's a guy who's an ad exec that just got married, and he and his fiance are taking off on their honeymoon. Well, their car breaks down in a little town, and the mechanic goes, it's going to be a few hours. We got to get this part, we got to drive out and get it. And, so why don't you guys go find somewhere to eat? So they find this little cafe, and on each table, there are these penny fortune telling machines that they look like little jukeboxes. If you've ever been to like Johnny Rockets or 50s cafes, they have the little jukeboxes. And, you put your coin in, and, you pick your song. Well, this one, you put your coin in, and then it spits out a little slip of paper, and it's got this little devil on top. And Shatner starts asking it these questions. And they're kind of vague at first, but all of the answers also sort of vague, match. And he's a very superstitious guy, and his fiance very much isn't. And it's, made known that she kind of puts up with it, She loves him anyway, but she's trying to talk some sense into him, because he's going, well, all the answers, they fit. And she goes, well, yeah, you could ask any of the machines on any of the tables and hear the same things and you get the same kind of answers. And he says, yes, but not the same answers. And he's really feeding into this. He wants to know his future. Is he going to get this promotion? Are they going to make it to their destination safely? All of these things. So to prove a point, the fiance goes and starts asking questions. And she's asking questions that you're not going to get the right answers or the answers that you're looking for because it's like, oh, are we going to make it to this city? Well, we're not going through that city. Well, she's trying to prove a point. And Shatner gets deeper into it and deeper into it and deeper into it. And finally, he listens to the fiance and she goes, you have to stop. You absolutely have to stop. And he goes, all right, let's get out of here. Mechanic comes in, car's ready, and they go and leave. And just as they're leaving, another couple comes in and they sit down at the same table and they put a penny in the machine. And the man goes, can we ask some more questions now? And they get the affirmative. So they start asking questions. And so it's that whole idea of they're in the Twilight Zone. So is this machine like haunted or does it, actually know the future? Or do people just feed into this? Do superstitions allow us to just believe these things? And it's such a great episode. I absolutely love it. There are so many that have, like I said, been redone or that have these, specific morals or, questions in them that people know. It's a Good Life is, it's great that Mikey did that. The Monsters Who Do on Maple Street is one of those that I think we all, if you're around my age, ended up reading in like 9th grade English lit, because it was a teleplay and you were learning how to read those and, Terror at 30,000 feet. And, like I said, The Simpsons, when we used to watch Treehouse of Horror, almost all of them were based on, Twilight Zone episodes because they, like I said, still fit the bill. They still asked really, awesome questions. So if you've not done a dive into the show or if you only watched like a few episodes, I highly, highly recommend going and having a nice self-care day, binge watch, as many as you can. It's actually free on Pluto. This is not an advertisement. I'm just a real big fan of Pluto. They have a Twilight Zone channel. So it just runs 24/7. Put it on while you're cooking dinner. You have it on in the background. I actually really like to have my kids watch these. And my older kids know certain episodes by heart. And my youngest is really kind of taking that deep dive filmmaker, look into what it takes to build a really good story in 30 minutes. 22 if you're going to, count commercials. But also like how to do things kind of on the cheap. This was a sci-fi show, the same way that we treat horror now, where, originally I think it aired at like 10 o'clock at night, and it became popular. So they moved up to 9 o'clock at night, which is still considered prime time. It ran for 5 seasons, and was the gateway for Rod Serling to come on with another show called Night Gallery. Night Gallery is, in the same vein, but a different kind of premise. And, he's an absolutely incredible creator and storyteller. Funny thing is, on the show, he would, come out and do the narration, exactly him in the suit with the cigarette and everything. He was so camera shy. He hated doing that, but he did it because he wanted that connection with the audience to tell his stories. And I always thought that was really cool. So I hope that you guys are taking some time to have those, comfortable moments to, really kind of build your environment, in a way that is going to be, fruitful and lucrative and, relaxing and all the things that you need, to really get through the unprecedented times that we are experiencing. But if you want to, take that leap, if you've never really watched the show, I highly suggest Twilight Zone. It's been redone a few times. They did a reiteration in the 90s, and then Jordan Peele just did 1 or 2 seasons. And I have not watched them because I am so in love with the original. I'm afraid that it would make me hate Jordan Peele. So, and I love him. I think he's an incredible director. So if you have, let us know if you like him, if it's worth watching. Maybe I'll take the leap, but I haven't heard, enough about it that, And not that I haven't heard enough good things, you know, enough bad things, just enough. I think that a lot of people kind of slept on it, you know, to watch it. So I don't want to taint my favorite show of all time. So please do that, guys. Take the time for you. Everyone's like, oh, take your me time, you know, take your self-care. And, you know, it's become buzzwords, but it really is important. So do that. Also drink your water and take your meds, and we'll see you next week.
Additionally, next week, I'm hoping to schedule my final interview for the director of training position. I might have mentioned that already, but I got a message from the recruiter saying that like they were just going to make some adjustments to the job description. I was like, I don't know what that means. Like, hopefully it's in my favor. Anyhow, love you, bye. All right, it is 1:15. We are still living in another world because, no wait, sorry, no AC. I thank God I have AC, but I have no water. So I have Tana Mojo dry shampoo. Well, I guess it's Jeff FM, whatever. Jeff's Barbershop, Tana Mojo collab, dry shampoo in my hair. To be honest, it doesn't look bad. I mean, the top looks way worse than the bottom. We just love like a shiny day. I'm not gonna say what day we're on for this, but the bottom looks cutie. I'll just put on a little headband to try to cover up the fact that it's grease and not, you know, just intentionally slicked. Anywho, it is 1:15 now. I have my L&D catch-up call at 2 with Patrick. I believe that's like my official offer. So I'm like debating between headed to work or taking the call here and then heading to work. I just have been like hoping the water would turn on because I just want to like do a couple more things, but I did brush my teeth and kind of wash my face, and I dry shampooed my hair. Just not the day that I thought I was gonna have. So if you are thinking of procrastinating something, especially if it's like a shower, don't do that, because you just never know when your water will get turned off. So that is the lesson of the day. Me looking crazy, that's the norm. Really crazy. Okay, so it is, I don't want to say the time because it's a little embarrassing that I'm still in my pajamas, but just wanted to come on because I completely forgot to like, I guess, tape this moment or like celebrate with us. But I just announced on LinkedIn and on Facebook, and then Patrick just put in the Slack account that I'm officially Director of Learning and Development and Restaurant Leadership. So I love my role title too because it kind of implies that I am like the MI2 coordinator, which always has been a dream job ever since I met Nancy Schwartz in the Hard Rock, you know, sphere. So yeah, I'm just fucking stoked. It's like crazy to sit here and realize like this dream has happened. But yeah, I'm just so stoked, especially because I've only been in my current role about 7 to 8 months. So it's just such like a really cool promotion to receive. The work was there. I'm not gonna like be too humble about it because I definitely have put in the, you know, the extra time, and I plan on doing even more, and I'm just really excited. But yeah, I just can't believe it's finally here. It was funny because technically it happened on Monday, today is Wednesday, but I felt weird announcing it without someone else announcing it, and then I made a joke to Patrick about like, hey, you know, give me my kudos or what, but it kind of stalled for a little bit. But then today I was like, hey, can I get my old email back, and can I announce it to people? And you know, so it's just finally official, and I'm so excited. And you know, I know there's a lot of changes to come still in the Plantiverse, but I'm just ready to rock and roll this new role. You can't tell because it's like I'm in the Windows view right now. Is that a fucking word? I don't know. I'm not the best chatting about these things right now. Let me drink a little more of this. All right, so